So on this channel, I've talked a lot about, Germany and stuff like that. My desire to learn German and to understand the culture a lot more. But through that, I reacted to a lot of different videos and gotten different perspectives from various expats and locals that live in Germany that have moved to America at some point, or people who have straight up just lived in Germany and given their perspective on what life is like out there. But, and I've heard, only good things about living in Germany. A few things that were like not so good, but for the most part, I'd say 99.9%, they've been good things. But I want to get an entire perspective, like the good, the bad, the ugly, on what it's like to live in Germany. So today's video is going to be, what are the worst parts of living in Germany? Now, I am opening this question up to the people who watch my channel and stuff that live in Germany, that are locals. And I'm also opening up this question to people who are not from Germany, but moved to Germany or visited in some regard and wound up living there and whatnot. Today, we're going to be looking at an Ask Reddit thread. There's a lot of people that have commented on this, and they've given their perspectives. If this is something that is relatable, then go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. But get this video to 300 likes. It helps push this video out to more people so they can see content like this through the algorithm. YouTube has been real wonky over the last few months. So if you guys can get this video to 300 likes, I will be picking a comment section winner. I've been doing that for the last few videos. But yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be talking about today. So let's go ahead and dive nose deep into this thing and see exactly what we are working with. So actually, let me pull up my green screen. Or should I pull up my green screen? Yeah, I'll pull it up. Hold on. All right, cool. So you guys can see more. All right, so it says, what are the worst parts about living in Germany? Now, the top answer says real estate prices, basically unaffordable for most, bureaucracy, lack of digitalization everywhere, internet, and power prices. So I did hear a few of these before. I heard people complain about the internet in Germany. I heard that generally everywhere you go, it's pretty trash. Like it's okay in some areas, but like it's generally speaking pretty garbage. And then the digitalization was a huge complaint I got from a lot of people, which was like, dang, Germany basically still living, not in the Stone Ages, but damn close. You know what I mean? Like it's still a cash-based system. I'm in a world where everything now is like moving towards credit cards and, now it's gotten past credit cards. It's like, now you can like tap your phone on a scanner and then pay for stuff now and everything. It's insane. But Germany's a little behind in that regard. Fiber optic, I don't even think Germany knows fiber optic right now, which is weird because it's like, in an ironic sense, Germany's actually a superpower when it comes to technology. So the fact that digitalization hasn't been a priority is kind of baffling to me a little bit, Boom. So someone commented on the bureaucracy part. It says, sure, it could be tedious, but it's certain aspects, the bureaucracy is not, certain aspects of the bureaucracy is not that bad. Sure, it makes everything complicated, but on a larger scale, it works. It works slowly, but it does without too much corruption. There is something that is something other countries dream of. So I'm not really complaining about the bureaucracy. I'm not complaining about anything. I'm just reading these comments. But this is interesting. Someone commented on real estate prices. Heavily depends on where you are, heavily depends on where exactly you want to rent or buy real estate. There are many areas with affordable prices, and in comparison to other European metropolitan areas, even Munich, Frankfurt, and Berlin are not super expensive. I don't know who said that, but I heard Munich is really expensive. So this man must have millions of dollars. Now, Frankfurt and Berlin, they're probably pretty pricey, but not as pricey as other places in Europe. I'm assuming Spain is probably more pricey than Germany in general. And if not Spain, then I'm definitely assuming Switzerland is way more pricey than all of Germany combined. You know what I mean? Boom. So someone else says, let me go ahead and minimize this. Probably the inability to register paradigm shifts. Paradigm shifts. I don't know what that means. So probably the inability to register paradigm shifts, especially on a political level. Whether it's recognizing that the internet might be the most important pillar of our modern day infrastructure, that Germany is actually a popular immigration destination, or that climate change requires somewhat immediate action now, are things that have been slept on forever. As long as it works in the moment and conforms to proper regulations, why change things? That's another thing that I heard about Germany's government in general. It's like, if it's not broken, why fix it? You know what I mean? The system isn't really broken per se, but there's clearly things to improve the already existing system. And change and innovation is like the number one thing that's allowed certain civilizations to, succeed like viciously, and I feel like the fact that a lot of these major points are being slept on is kind of like an Achilles heel to Germany a little bit. And I know a lot of people living there probably agree. Now, if you don't agree, let me know. Also, this is coming from a person who is completely ignorant, that has never lived in Germany a day in his life. I've never even visited Germany. I've just done extensive research and, have just accumulated everyone's opinions and thoughts and put them into my own, and I'm spewing it back to you guys. So if I'm wrong, then go ahead and let me know that I'm wrong in the comments. I'm just, trying to generate some conversation here. Boom. So someone says in the comments, that was Merkel's strategy for 16 years, right? Kind of just ignore it. She also did nothing to push forward women's rights despite being in the place to do it. However, this conservatism is probably what let her stay for so long. And now the coalition has to make all outstanding issues happen within 5 years. Digitalization by teaching school kids about AI? No, dude. Get the internet working first. Yeah, that's also backwards. Like, if that's their digitalization plan, teaching children about artificial intelligence before they even prioritize the internet. What the freak, bro? You're going to be teaching kids about AI with like 1 megabyte internet speed. That don't make no damn sense. Anyways, let's go ahead and hit the next one, right? Once again, like I said, if you guys have anything to add, please add it in the comments down below. I would love to open up a discussion with you guys and talk about it. Also, if you want to actually talk to me about this in person, if this topic is very triggering, or it's just it maybe inspired something, or you want to talk to me personally, please join the Discord server and feel free to DM me and whatnot. I'm pretty active on my Discord, so if you want to talk to me directly and we can have a conversation about this topic, that would be great too. So just Discord link is in the description. Telephonism. Painfully, many things you can only organize over the telephone during office hours, which are from 8:30 to 12 o'clock 3 days a week. No chance to phone during work hours. Miss watching the clock and it's 12:01. Need an urgent appointment. Too bad. That's why it's done in Germantown. Or that's the way it's done in Germantown. So everything, you arrange appointments by phone in Germany? Bro, that's got to be super toxic. Like, imagine this, right? So every place I've had to arrange an appointment via phone, it takes eons to get hold of anybody because everybody's calling the appointment line. Everybody is. So it's not unusual to wait an average of 1 to 3 hours trying to get hold of the appointment lines. You can schedule an appointment with whatever you have to schedule an appointment with, whether it be a doctor or whether it be an official business appointment or whatever, right? And then on top of that, to combat that issue, right, what I would do, I'm like, all right, I'll just go on the website. I'll probably put in an appointment and then boom, that should be fine. But I feel like that's just, come on, you got to open up all avenues so you make your own workload easier. Imagine being the telephone operator trying to make all of these appointments, bro, trying to make all these appointments. You have hundreds of people calling in, but then if you just simply open up an appointment registry on a website that has to do with digitalization now. You open up an appointment registry where people can put in their appointments on a website, they submit it, it gets reviewed, and then you get an email sent back confirming the appointment. Guess what happens? Your traffic going to the telephone lines significantly decreases. So you no longer have to worry about that. And now, you have a few people calling in because that's their preference, but you also have people that are like, you know what, let me just do it online. It's easier, it's quick, it's efficient, boom. I feel like that's a super simple solution. I just feel like maybe like over the next 10 years, we'll see Germany take a huge progressive leap in like the future. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like digitalization is definitely on the horizon. Like, it's going to happen. I just don't know when. Boom. Someone says it's so difficult to find friends if you aren't sporty and belong to clubs, especially if you didn't study here. Just as working professionals in their early 30s with no children, but not in a big city either, completely isolating. Makes sense. Basically, it's hard to meet people. I heard, and I remember we went over this several times in other videos. I'm like, well, if you are not working in Germany, you're not going to school in Germany, and you're not really a person that likes to go clubbing, how do you meet people in Germany? And everybody just shrugged. They're like, sheesh, good luck. No, a lot of people out here like to talk. Like, small talk is not the way, chief. So seems pretty cold out there in Germany, man. And I'm not just talking about weather. I'm talking about like the cultural climate, which is fine. I'm starting to find myself get a little bit more introverted myself, man. The older I get, I feel a lot more like, you know, I'm always in my room making these videos every single day. You know what I'm saying? Minus the last 2 days I didn't upload, but still, I'm finding myself becoming a lot more introverted, and I feel like I'm starting to understand a lot more and more like why people are like that. It's just like, you know, life is short, man. You want to use your time wisely and use your words sparingly. You know, there's no reason to talk all the time unless you do what I do. The next point is German living on the U.S. West Coast here. So awesome. So you got somebody from Germany who moved to the U.S. West Coast, California. Let's go. The weather is what made me leave. I think if you are prone to winter depression, it can be quite miserable. However, I find life so much easier in Germany, so I will return pretty soon, and we'll just have to deal with it somehow. Yeah. Welcome to America. Shit's not sweet out here, my guy. It is not good. Not even for us. Like, literally, like, everybody right now is talking about leaving, going to different places. It's just, the government has never been this bad ever. Like, this is the worst everything has been in America in a long time. Not economically per se. Maybe economically a little bit, because, you know, whatever, but it's not as bad as the Great Depression, obviously. I would just say systematically, this is the worst that America has ever been. There are so many. It's like every government has their series of corrupt things that happen, but it's to the point where the people are. It's like they're not even trying to hide how corrupt the government is. Like, they're just showing it to everybody and telling people, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? You gonna leave? You can't leave. We're gonna make it hurt if you leave. So deal with it. Like, that's pretty much what it's been like here in America, man. It's messed up. So there's a lot of situations, social related situations, financial related situations, legal related situations that have made it to the public eye and really have shown America's true morals and intent when it comes to policy and just looking at where the thought process of the American government is, you know, like it's really messed up. So a lot of people are like, don't really feel comfortable living here anymore. Well, I want to move until things get better, you know? So, I understand that. I completely understand that. And people have the right to do that shit. It's just, it's going to get worse before it gets better, you know? Boom. So, there are many positive things. However, no customer service. Boom. I heard customer service is dog shiznit in Germany, bro. A lack of creativity in the education system. Lack of internet coverage. This is also the fourth time I've heard this in the last, like, 13 minutes we've been talking about this topic. Things like the 1998. Things look like 1998 on this level. Lack of digital everything, from how to design to how to innovate, to the lack of digital literacy, actual on the ground racism versus PR around levels of promoted openness, e.g. Berlin, refugees welcome, missing the contemporary discussions around gender representation, equality, and diversity, a conservative work culture through under 35s are building something different. Oh, although under 35s are building something different. Some sadness also with many of my friends, with my German friends, how they spend their lives hunting for some kind of perfection which doesn't exist. Oh, okay. Well, I've heard of that too, culturally, right? Like, things are like designed. I mean, in I guess the German culture, a lot of people strive for perfection in an interesting way. But also, I could kind of say the same for America in a way. Like America, it's a little bit more relaxed, but it's also not. It's relaxed on the front of like, although we don't, the society does not encourage that we take breaks. We are still very much a very laxed like society to an extent. But at the same time, we feverishly try to work as hard as we can so we can make as much money and get as much riches and all that other craziness as we can, no matter what class you're in. Like you can be upper class, middle class, lower class. It's just the narrative here that's pushed is like, if you work hard, you will eventually make millions. That's the American quote unquote dream, which we also talked about last week, I want to say, about the American dream being dead and why and blah, blah, blah. All right. So boom. Lack of customer service. Let's get into that. Somebody has a very nice breakdown. You call businesses, doctors, government offices. They're only open a few hours in the middle of the workday, yet nobody answers. And rarely do they call back. When they do, they usually just give you an in-person appointment. 24-hour helpline concept is out of the question here, which is that's frustrating. Dude, I have a story for this after I'm done reading this. I'll put a pin in that story right now. It's the 24-hour service line and how it helped me. And people insult you for even suggesting it, like you're asking them to work for free or something. Like, hey, is it bedtime, the coffee hour, church time, whatever? Why would you want to call your cable company about an expensive billing error now? That said, there are positives too, especially if your job is customer service, LOL. Damn. My immigrant status is showing. I should have let the real Germans answer. All right, boom. So here we go. Let's start off with the 24-hour helpline, right? I have gotten into some interesting situations where I needed help. For instance, there was a situation where I had an issue where I went to the bathroom, I looked, and I just had to pee really quick or whatever, but I looked in the toilet and I'm like, is that red? Dark red, dude. Dark red. Why was dark red coming out of me? That makes no sense. No sense. Zero. And this happened in like the middle of the night, maybe like, 2 a.m., whatever. Now, was I in pain? Nah, not really, but I was curious like as to how that could possibly happen. So of course, my initial thing was like, let me go to the emergency room. But then I'm like, I'm not in pain, but there's all this red coming out from me. And I just need to I need to figure out like what's going on. But I also don't want to go to the hospital if like I'm not in pain, because maybe somebody else needs to, go to the hospital, the ER, so maybe somebody else really needs the ER more than me and, whatever. So what did I do? There's a 24-hour nurse hotline that you can call. You give them your symptoms, they look them up, and based on whatever they find, they recommend that you either go to the emergency room or not. I wound up having to go to the emergency room. Turned out it was nothing serious, which I'm like, whoa, what the heck? But yeah, they told me what it was. It was basically like a workout injury and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I guess it makes sense. Yeah, basically, how did that not happen? I think I would have, I don't know. Of course, I would have gone to the ER and stuff like that or whatever, but it's just convenient having stuff like that, And of course, like it puts your mind at ease to some degree in that regard. Also, like they were saying, like, let's say you get charged something ridiculous. Like, let's say you get an internet bill of like $3,000 just because there was an error in their system. And this happens like the day before you need to pay your mortgage, right? And now you have no money in your account because you saved up. Like, let's say your mortgage is $1,000 a month, and the internet company charges you $3,000 on accident, right? And you need to get hold of somebody quick, otherwise, you are gonna miss your mortgage payment, and that's gonna be a huge problem, right? So of course you call the phone company, but they're only open from this small ass window where barely anybody picks up. Like it seems like it's hard out there in Germany, G. Like in that regard, I feel like for something like that, I feel like my workaround, and you can let me know if this is accurate or not, my workaround to problems like that, if I know places are not gonna pick up their phone, I would rather show up in person and like get it handled there. I don't care if I have to wait hours. At least you can see me. I'll keep showing up until you ask me what the hell I'm doing in your establishment. And I'll be like, sir, you don't pick up the phone, so I'm here. You're dealing with the real James Bray in the flesh. Because I'm saying, bro, like playing phone tag is one of the most annoying things in the entire world, bro. I got problems. They need to be solved and da da da. I truly feel like, you know, work a 24-hour helpline, right, in Germany does not seem like a bad idea. Like they have that here. It's not like the individual that's working the phone is working 24 hours. It's simply called a 24-hour shift. You have a morning shift, you have an afternoon shift, and you have a night shift. And they all work 8 hours. So it's not like you're being overworked. For the people who are working like the midnight shift, maybe if it's that bad, pay them overtime, you know, like it's not a big deal. But I feel like it's just maybe it's the quality of life aspect or something where they're like, oh, we don't want people working overnight. I'm like, man, get out of here with that shit. Like there should be a customer service that goes 24 hours. I feel like there definitely should. Now, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comments down below as to why there shouldn't be, but I feel like that's very important. Boom. So next one says, I've been here for 5 years and customer service has gotten better. Granted, the people providing it are immigrants from other European countries, Poland, Czech Republic, etc. But it's a start. I love Germany, but my biggest complaint to date was that it took 8 days to move my number from O2 to Telecom. During those 8 days, I had no service. No service on your phone for 8 days, bro. Imagine that shit. Bro, that's pretty much like being exiled from society at this point because everything's on the internet. That's bad, bro. That is bad. Oh, also, customer service in Florida is dog shit too, so can't really say too much. Boom. All right, so we're going to go over 2 more, and then we're going to end the video with some closing I said closing costs. Oh my God. Closing remarks. The insufferable know-it-all attitude you find everywhere, especially when you work. Also the attitude that when something happens, you need to be in a bad mood because otherwise you are not serious about your profession. When you fly to Germany, it's always incredible how unnecessarily unfriendly and grumpy the world becomes in just a few hours. Holy shit. Holy shit. Why are people so grumpy in Germany? What the heck? All right, I'm going to read part of this over again because I have heard a lot of this before. I heard, right? I remember this was 2 years ago. I was talking to somebody that was living in Germany and they said that like, you know, hey, be wary and stuff. I know you're like really obsessed with Germany and you're like all that good stuff. But the people here are really cold, bro. Like really cold, especially the farther up north you go. Like the farther up north you go in Germany, the colder people are. They're not happy-go-lucky. They're not friendly. It's just they're not mean, but they're very cold. Like if like you needed help or something, they're more likely to be like, you know. So it just depends on location. Obviously, it's the same in America too. But you know, a lot of people can be rude. A lot of people can be cold. But damn, bro, like that's crazy. Not only the weather's cold, the people are too. Not everybody, like I said, but it's enough to where even the locals notice that shit and they're like, damn, I guess we're kind of cold. Anyways, so it's crazy. Like it's like apparently you can just feel how like people are. And you know what's weird? My biggest problem is I'm generally a very positive, very bubbly person. And by bubbly, I'm very expressive. I'm very happy-go-lucky. Everything I described that kind of reflects a positive mood. I don't expect anybody else to be like me, though. I'm very unique, you know? But I can say that because I'm like that, my personality clashes with a lot of other personalities. Like people who are very like naturally down in the dumps and very moody tend to not get along with my personality because I'm very like, I have a very strong, positive personality. Like I will always laugh. You could have a gun pointed at my face and I'll be like, ha 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 ha, you fool. That thing is not even loaded. Or if it's loaded, it's only a 22. I mean, no. But you know, it's just stupid shit like that. I don't take life seriously, man. I feel like life is literally too short to be a fucking grouch, right? Like imagine spending your whole life being mad and taking things seriously, like your whole life. Like it's miserable, bro. Like it's like, damn, like remember when you were a kid and you were playing with toys and stuff like that? And then, you know, you got older and then, you know, something happened where now you're just bitter. And it trickles into every corner of your life when you're like that. I'd rather extend my lifespan by being as free and and, you know, not carefree per se, but, you know, just like you don't take anything too seriously, man. There's always a way out of a situation, and there's always a positive side of even the worst situations. You know what I mean? Even the worst situations. Like if you're kidnapped, you know, you can tell yourself, at least you're not dead. At least they kind of feed me. If you're getting some garbage food, you're like, well, at least I'm getting food, you know, boom. You know, it's just like there's different. It's a matter of perspective. It's all a matter of perspective, I feel like. But yeah, I definitely passed the question to you guys. Why are people so bitter in Germany? Like not everybody, but a lot of people. Why are they so bitter? Like not bitter, but like just antisocial, because it gives off a cold vibe. Also, how do most Germans see tourists, like especially American tourists? Can you like let me know in the comments down below? I feel like that's a very important question. All right. Last but not least, we have the final comment here. It says tax rates, especially for unmarried people without children, depressing weather in the wintertime, low pensions compared to similar countries, but long work life. Very interesting, because we were talking about earlier how Germany values the quality of life, and they emphasize people take a day off on Sundays to kind of just relax. However, because the pension system isn't like as intense as it is maybe in America. I don't know that for a fact. I'm just talking out of my ass here, but maybe like people have to work a lot longer. Maybe the retirement age is not 65. Maybe it's older. And in that regard, to make sure that I am accurate in what I'm saying, can you please verify if the retirement age is 65 or not? If that's not the retirement age in Germany, please let me know in the comments down below. The depressing weather in Germany, for a lot of you guys may or may not know, I am getting married soon. And my fiance, one of her things is that like the weather, man, like she has to be in the sun, some way, shape or form. I mean, she's a Florida baby, but so like, you know, it's just like, you know, having sunlight, I don't know what it does. Like maybe there's like a vitamin that makes you happy or something like that. I don't know. But like, you know, she's always like very happy if the sun is out. But if there's like multiple days where it's just gloomy and just then, you know, she gets she's not in a great mood, and that's very common for a lot of people. I didn't realize that. So in Germany, man, I heard that it always rains out there. It's always snowy. It's just a whole lot of mess when it comes to that. So a lot of people experience the seasonal depression, where it's just like, dang, like, you know, it's always winter out here. It's cold, it's cloudy, I can't see no damn sun, this is terrible, blah blah blah. Like even if it's cold, I don't mind if it's cold, the sun is out, you know? Like for me personally, I don't care. Like I don't get like that. I like it when it's gray outside. I'm like, woo, it's gray. Yes. But like, you know, I like it either way. I don't care. I'm just happy to be alive at this point, you know? But that was a very interesting topic, very interesting video. I once again pass the question off to you. You know, what are the worst parts about living in Germany? This is not a video, you know, talking shit about Germany. It's just like, be honest. Like, what are the worst parts of being in Germany? Because I know like a lot of people, when I first got into, you know, being obsessed with the culture and the language and everything, people were trying to like let me know, like, hey, let me let you know a few things, Chief. I need you to pipe down that overexcited attitude, Chief. Just a lot of that, you know. I think that's very important stuff to know. And who knows, maybe someone else that stumbles across this video can reference the comment section and learn a thing or two before they make plans to move to Germany and, you know, or Europe in general. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about this topic. I am out. I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.